just say how excited I am to see all the naked faces in this room right now? Like, cheer for that. Because if last year taught me anything, it was how much I love a good naked face. It's one of those body parts no one talks about. Like, oh, do you like a good face? It's like, well, some look better than others, sure. It's like a knee. You don't really pay attention to the knees. But now I'm convinced if everyone was forced to wear knee guards, I'd be like, gosh, I miss the knees. So thank you everyone who came out without your mask on, because that's my favorite part of this. Now, I normally don't do this either. I normally just ramble for a while. No one ever tells me when to stop talking, but I do have a time limit. There are things I do want to talk about. So here we go. Since it's a cool hip thing to do, I'm going to identify myself. That's the thing we do now. I know, get ready. You didn't think I was going to go there. We're going to go there really strong right now. So I'm a female. I'm pretty proud of that. Thank you. You can all clap. It's okay. It was made that way. Thank you, God. To be fair, I have tried to pee standing up, but it just doesn't work out that well. I think that should be how we tested out the Olympics. I don't know if any of you have watched the news, but there's some controversy over some women who are going to be in the Olympics. And my only thing is, let's just have a test. If you can pee standing up, if you could aim and hit a Cheerio in a toilet, you're going to play for the men's sports. I think it's fair, but no one's asked me yet. I assume that after this, someone's going to call me from the 2020 Tokyo Olympics and ask for my opinion. I'm a wife, which is fun. It's super fun. My husband's gone half the time. So it's the key to marriage. I'm telling you all right now, if your husband's gone at least half the time, it's the key to a happy marriage. We just celebrated our 8th anniversary. Thank you. Some of you have only been married a couple years, I see. That's great. That's good. And he told me, he goes, we made it past the 7-year itch, which I didn't know was a thing. And I was like, you're going to have to explain it. He's older than me. He knows all these old-fashioned ideas. And he goes, a 7-year itch. We stayed together. We didn't cheat on each other. We made it past 7 years. So that's good. I was like, you were gone half the time. We've only been 4 years in. Check back in 4 more years. We'll see where we are. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 7 years, which is kind of like a joyous jail sentence. It is. The wardens are really hardcore. They're difficult. They don't let you eat every night. They never let you sleep. It's a little bit of torture, but I'm telling you, if you can make it out of those baby years, you come out the strongest you could ever be. I mean, I could guarantee you right now, if our military put a couple of veteran moms who've had small kids in charge of things, a lot would happen, real fast. And it's no offense to men. It's not. It's just, in my experience, women are a little stronger than men when it comes to dealing with small tyrants. And that's okay, and we should all be very, very proud of that. I'm a Christian. There's only one. Oh, there's more of you. Okay, fantastic. I was a little concerned for a second about this crowd. I am a Christian. I was raised in church since I was little. My parents forced me to go when I was a teenager. I made it through that alive. We're all good. Everyone's happy. I'm a conservative. I'm a Republican. I have been since the day I filled out my voter registration cards. My father was in the Army, and if he was here today, you would hear about that for about 5 hours, but he's not. So that's kind of where the conservative things go. So now you know a little bit more about me, which is great. I mentioned I was a stay-at-home mom for 7 years, and momming governed every waking moment, and I love those kids so much. If you asked me if I would take a bullet for my kids, I wouldn't think twice. I would literally dive over. I mean, you're a good mom if you let your kids cough in your face. That's the test. If you've never had a kid cough in your face or pee in your lap, you might want to question your parenting. Because that is love. That is love. My son the other day, bless his heart, had a runny nose and just came over and wiped his nose down my arm. I'm not gonna lie, I forgot it was there for like 30 minutes and then it kind of dried up. You know how it gets gross? That's love. It's a gross love. It's disgusting. No one talks about it. It's in my book, but that's love. Now, my little girl, who is the angel of my eye, started kindergarten last year, which was huge. It was huge. She was so excited. She had been playing teacher at home for so long, and she was excited to have a teacher and peers and have to do homework, which she didn't actually have, but we made it up, so it's great. But she was excited. Now, was she disappointed that she couldn't see anyone's face? A little bit. She didn't have to wear a mask for medical reasons, which was great, but she was excited to be there. I told you I was in lockdown for 7 years. I'm now free, thank you. But if you've never had kids in school before, then you don't really know or maybe care what's being taught in the schools. I'm not gonna lie, I went through the Volusia County school system. It was a delightful time. I made it out on the other side. I graduated, it was nice. But ever since 2006, now you can do math, you're welcome. Ever since I graduated in 2006, I haven't thought twice about what was being taught in the schools. Really haven't, at all. Our children are like sponges. This is gonna be a gross analogy. If you haven't noticed, I say gross things, I apologize. I'm trying not to talk about poop because you're eating, but I do have gross analogies. But children are like sponges and they soak up everything. If you've ever accidentally said a bad word, you know that your children will soak that thing up and then repeat it at the worst possible moments. I'm not gonna repeat those words now, but it's happened. Kids are like sponges, and like any good kitchen sponge, in my opinion, the one with the little smiley face cut out, it works better than all the other sponges, costs 3 times as much. They're strong and they're resilient. And over time, they're gonna keep soaking up the dishwater that you use. If you use that sponge on filthy, disgusting, gross dishwater, eventually it's gonna be worn down, it's gonna smell, it's gonna grow sour, and then you're gonna throw it away. Now, I know I was just using that analogy with my kids. I'm not gonna throw them away, and yes, they do smell sour. But the analogy is to what they're soaking up every single day at school. And eventually, they're gonna soak up so much filth and garbage that you're gonna be left with a generation of kids that are just these nasty little evil sponges that are gonna burn down buildings in Portland. That's what we have a little bit. So, this is the part of momming that makes you lose sleep. I mentioned earlier that, I was sleep deprived, I was food deprived, that was the mom lifestyle. Anyone else out here go through that? I feel a little bit alone. Did anyone else go without sleep or without food? There you go. She wins. So here's the part that makes me lose sleep. I knew my daughter was gonna start her educational journey, and she's in public school. So many people told me to put her in private school or to homeschool her, and she really wanted that public school experience. I grew up in a small public school. That's where she is, and she loves it. But I knew if we were gonna do this, we were gonna have to go on a quest. And I say the word quest because, I would say adventure, but adventure is like a Saturday at SeaWorld. That's an adventure. You're gonna get sunburnt, bad things are gonna happen. At the end of the day, everyone's gonna be screaming and crying, but you had some good times. This was a quest. And it was a little harder to do because COVID, but here we are. I'm not naive as a person. I'm aware there's actually hidden messages and agendas in everything. Everything. When I was a small child, I watched Saved by the Bell. Did anyone else watch Saved by the Bell? I found my friends here in the room. Thank you. It was a great show. I still love Zach Morris. Side note, you don't need to pay attention to that. But there was an episode, and there was a teacher explained subliminal messaging. And that stuck with me literally my entire life because they were explaining that in every commercial there's subliminal messaging. They are trying to get you to do something, and it's not buy Diet Coke. There's something. So I spent my whole life digging through subliminal messaging. So, my quest isn't over, but I'm gonna share with you guys some things I've learned on this quest. Once again, big quest. First bothersome agenda, and I'm not going to go on any rants. There's going to be a couple little things here, and it's going to make your skin crawl a little bit. We're not going to go on those quests today. It's okay, kids. The first bothersome agenda I found within the schools that bothered me with my kids is all the sexuality that is pushed on children, some as young as 7. Now I get it. I went to school, like I said, county school system. It was delightful. In 5th grade, we went to the hospital. We learned where babies come from. The boys learned what they do for the rest of their lives. The women learn about the issues they're going to have the rest of their lives. Everyone's happy. No one speaks to the opposite sex for about a month. It's great. It's good times. That shouldn't happen when you're a small child, though. That's its own little quest we're going to talk about later in life. Another speech, I'm sure. It'll be fun. The second bothersome agenda I found, and this is just really bothersome, is how much, well, society, as we all know, but schools too, are trying to cleanse the schools of any Christian ideology. Now, I'm not behind it, but I could understand if they did that because it's faith-based. If that's your excuse, that's beautiful. It's faith-based. All right. But everything is faith-based. The idea that my car is still going to be in the valet is faith-based. If you believe that the monkey at the zoo was walking one day and then magically turned into man, that is faith-based. If you believe when you die, you go into the ground and become a ficus, that is faith-based. Everything we have is faith-based. So to say that you're going to take Christianity out of the schools because it's faith-based is kind of a load of crap, to put it nicely. I'd considered for a while running for the school board. I thought about it. I talked to a lot of people. I talked to politicians. I talked to people at higher levels of education. I talked to analysts. I don't like to do something until I know the whole realm of what there is. Like I told you, both sides. And I talk to people on both sides. I talk to people I never probably would have talked to otherwise. And every single person at the end of the day, they were nice and well-meaning, but most of them said, Jessie, you're a stay-at-home mom. And this education system, not just Volusia County, not just the state of Florida, this education system is a giant. And I thought about that. And I gave every single one of those wonderful people the exact same response. I don't back down to giants, and neither should any of you. So consider this my formal declaration. I wish there were balloons dropping, that I will be running for the Volusia County School Board for District 3. Thank you. Thank you all. And not only do I hope all of you support me, I need your help, I need your support, because this is a big giant, but you know what? We can do this. And I've met so many of you, and gosh, you all are wonderful people. So thank you all so much for everything, for your support, your love. Thank you.